Thank you for joining us. Are you ready to breathe, move, and flow? Today you will be led through a Pilates class that focuses on forgiveness.
Roll down. We'll sit tall and float the fingertips forward. Legs lengthen out in front of you. Now bend into the back of the ribs. Think C curve to lay down, letting the low back, mid back, and upper back find the mat with control.
Forgiveness means different things to different people, but in general, forgiveness includes letting go of resentment. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or accepting what has occurred.
Double leg stretch. Arms lengthen and legs lengthen into a hollow hold position. Now circle the arms down towards the hips as the knees bend in. Arms extend and legs extend out together. Keep the low back flat. Now you'll circle the arms down towards the hips with control and curl the body into a tiny ball shape as the knees bend in. Think hollow abdominals, quiet pelvis.
Practicing forgiveness may have beneficial impact on your physical, mental, and emotional health.
Roll over. Extend both legs and lower them down to 45 degrees. Now sweep the legs up and begin to peel the hips and the low back away from the mat, rolling up to your shoulders. Once you are inverted, flex the feet and open the legs wide. Roll down the middle of the back. As the pelvis finds the mat again, the legs will circle down to zip and reset. Once again, reach the toes back, roll through the low back, mid back, up to your rollover position. Flex the feet and separate. Now begin to articulate down. Let the legs circle down to zip at the bottom of the movement.
Forgiveness taps into empathy. Empathy gives us the ability to connect and take the perspective of someone else. Feelings do not need to be rooted in logic. Feelings just are. Trying to use logic to work around or through an emotion may fuel frustration.
Roll back up to spine stretch forward. Reach the fingertips forward above the toes and pull the rib cage back. Think about curling back away from a wall.
Forgiveness is like a muscle, starting slow and building and strengthening the forgiveness over time. The more we practice, the easier it will become.
We'll lift back up into a neutral spine. Now C curve back. Begin to tuck the tailbone under the hips and roll back. Bend into the back of the spine and draw the front of your ribs in and back towards you. Now keep the round shape to sit back up. Lengthen and stretch your spine up in your seated position. Now repeat by rolling back into your C shape. Keep your rib cage pulled back as you do. And then you'll sit back up, lengthening the spine back up to neutral at the top.
Acknowledging your own pain and how others have contributed to that pain, whether intentional or accidentally. This is a place to start on the path of forgiveness.
Single leg work in C curve. Sit in a seated position with the legs stretched against the mat. Now lift the right leg. One hand on the shin and one on the hamstring. Think about bringing your nose down to meet your knee and rolling back to C curve. Pause at the bottom. Wrap the rib cage back. Now hold onto the C shape as you sit back up. Lengthen the spine at the top. We'll repeat 2 more times, curling into the spine as you roll back, bringing the nose down to meet the knee, and then sitting back up at the top.
Imagine a person, real or imaginary, that showed forgiveness. What was that experience like for you? What feelings arose through forgiveness? How did that relationship grow from that experience?
Other side. We'll start in a seated position with the legs stretched against the floor. Now lift the other leg up. One hand on the shin and one on the hamstring. Think about bringing your nose down towards your knee and then rolling back to C curve. Pause at the bottom. Keep that hollow shape in your abdominals. Now hold onto that curl shape with your spine and sit back up. Lengthen the spine at the top and then repeat, rolling back to C-curve.
Before engaging in a disagreement, setting up the environment. Acknowledging the usual environment that disputes take place in and what is in your control to change, the location, timing. Set up the conversation for success.
Roll like a ball. Bend the knees in and hover the feet away from the floor. Hands go lightly on the shins. Drop the nose down towards the knees to find a ball shape. Now roll back. Focus on rolling up and down the center of your spine. Find your balance at the top and then roll back to your shoulders again.
We are all people and share a common humanity. As people, we all have a desire to receive love and have the ability to give love.
Crisscross. We'll lay down. Keep the hands as they are behind the head and elevate the legs to tabletop. Extend the right leg away from the body and twist towards the left knee. Think about rolling across the shoulders to switch. Keep the back of the pelvis imprinted as you rotate from side to side. Also avoid letting the elbows fold into your ears. Think wide chest, wide elbows. Keep the upper back cinched.
Take a moment to notice where your thoughts are going. Gently bring your thoughts back to this present moment. Notice what comes up in the moment of quiet.
Single leg circle. Lay in your supinated position along your back with your spine in neutral. Begin to lengthen one leg up to the sky. Now let the leg circle across the body, down to float above the floor, and then out away from the hip. 3 more circles in this direction, and then we'll reverse the circle, circling the leg in the opposite way. Use your abdominals to draw the leg up through center, and then we're isolating the movement to our hip as that leg circles. Everything else stays still.
We all have an experiencing self and a remembering self. Our experiencing self is the one that is experiencing the feelings in the moment, while the remembering self is the memory of the experienced moment. How can forgiveness be felt in the moment and be remembered afterwards?
Single leg circle, other side. Extend the opposite leg up. Now the leg will circle across the body, down to float above the floor, and then out away from the hip. Keep length in the back of your leg and stretch the toes. 3 more circles in this direction, and then we'll reverse. Use the abdominals to draw the leg up through center, and use your arms and your upper back to steady your spine above.
Thank you for joining us.